You ever look at a new mutual fund and just wonder what's actually going on inside? All that jargon can be a bit much. Well, today, that's what we're going to do. We've got our hands on the official document for the new Axis BSE India Sector Leaders Index Fund, and we're just going to break it down, plain and simple. What is it? How does it work? And who is it really for? Let's jump right in.
I mean, it's a dream for a lot of investors, isn't it? You want a piece of India's top companies, the big players, the sector leaders. But let's be real, trying to pick individual stocks, that can feel like a total minefield. It's overwhelming. Where do you even begin? So a fund like this one from Axis Mutual Fund comes along and basically says, hey, here's a way to do that. And you know what? Instead of just listening to the buzz or a bunch of opinions, we're going to go straight to the horse's mouth. We're diving into the official scheme information document to get the cold, hard facts. This whole breakdown is based purely on what that document said.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First up, what even is this fund? Then, how does it actually invest? After that, and this is a big one, what are the risks? We'll also look at who this is for and wrap it up with the key details every investor needs to know. Simple as that.
All right, let's get into our first section. The most basic question of all. What exactly is this fund?
So the document calls this an index fund. The easiest way to think about an index fund is like a greatest hits album of the stock market. See, instead of a manager trying to actively pick the next big hit song, their job is just to buy all the songs on, say, the top 40 chart in the exact same proportion. It's a really straightforward, kind of transparent way to invest. And for this specific fund, its goals, straight from the document, is to basically mirror the performance of something called the BSE India Sector Leaders TRI. That TRI just stands for Total Return Index, which is a fancy way of saying it includes dividends. But the big thing to get here is that this fund isn't trying to be a hero and beat the index. Nope. Its entire job is to be the index, as closely as possible. Any little difference is just called tracking error. Okay, so if the goal is to be the index, that naturally leads to the next question. How does it actually pull that off? What's the strategy here? Well, the strategy is, it's about as simple as it gets. You can see here that basically all the money, we're talking 95 to 100%, goes directly into buying the stocks that are in that BSE India Sector Leaders Index. And that tiny bit left over, that 0 to 5%, that's just held as cash or similar stuff. It's not for making big bets, it's just a little buffer to handle people putting money in or taking it out every day so they don't have to keep buying and selling stocks constantly. This whole approach has a name. It's called a passive strategy. What that means is the fund manager isn't sitting there trying to outsmart the market, picking stocks they think are going to pop. Not at all. Their job is to be a copycat, a replicator. They just make sure the fund's portfolio is a mirror image of the index. The fund literally just follows the leader.
Now, this is super important. No investment is a sure thing, right? There's always risk. So what does the official document tell us about the risks here? Let's dig in.
And wow, they don't bury the lead. This is right from the document's official riskometer. And you can see, for both the fund itself and the index it's tracking, the rating is crystal clear. Very high risk. They're not mincing words here. So what does very high risk actually mean for you, the investor? Well, first off, it means you're investing in stocks, in equities, and they can be jumpy, volatile. Your investment value can swing up and down, sometimes a lot. It also means, and this is crucial, there's a real chance you could lose some or even all of the money you put in. And finally, nothing is guaranteed. There are no promised returns. Okay, so with a very high-risk label slapped on it, you have to ask, who is this fund even for? Thankfully, the document is pretty direct about this. And here's the quote, word for word. This product is suitable for investors who are seeking long-term wealth creation solution. The two most important words there? Long-term. This is not a get-rich-quick thing. It's not for money you're going to need next month or next year. So let's put that in plain English. This fund could make sense for you if you're investing for the long haul. We're talking 5 years, maybe more, and if you can stomach the ups and downs of the stock market without freaking out. But on the other hand, who should maybe think twice? Well, anyone who needs this cash in the short term, or, frankly, anyone who would lose sleep seeing their investment value drop. If that's you, this might not be the right fit.
All right, we're on the home stretch. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the actual numbers you'd need to know if you were thinking about investing.
First things first, getting in the door is super easy. The minimum amount you need to invest is just 100 rupees. Okay, what about fees for getting out?
There is something called an exit load, a small fee of 0.25%. But, and this is a big but, it only applies if you sell within the first 15 days. Stick around longer than that, and it costs you nothing to leave. And what about a fee for getting in? Nope, no entry load whatsoever. It's free to invest.
And for anyone who likes the idea of investing a little bit at a time, with an SIP or systematic investment plan, this fund is really flexible. You can set it up to invest daily, weekly, or monthly. And the minimum for any of those? Yep, just 100 rupees again. It's a great way to build up your investment over time without needing a big lump sum upfront.
So, there you have it. We've gone through the official document from top to bottom. We've seen its goal is to just copy an index of India's top companies. We know it's a passive strategy. It comes with a very high risk warning, and it's super easy to get started with. Which leaves us with really only one final and most important question. Is this kind of hands-off, high-risk, long-term approach the right one for your personal financial journey?